Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. My name is Josh, and last segment we were talking about income strategies with multiple time frame analysis. Using smaller time frames, maybe one is for your curve, which means where is price at in the big picture. Then where is price at as far as trend? But also what Al is talking about is kind of like a funnel. You have all this big picture, which would be the top of the funnel, and you want to hone in to your precise entry point with a smaller time frame on a price chart. And that's what we talk about for income strategies in these investing classes that we do right here at the Academy. We show the different income strategies, and with these time frames, we'll show examples with futures, or maybe it's options or Forex or even stocks for income strategies in those financial markets. So just simply text the word investing for to the number 210 for 2 seats for the investing class right here in Bloomington. Text investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats. So Al, in that last segment, you were talking about people that have things to pay for. And if you think about it in our everyday life and how people are conditioned and how we're wired as people, is people go get a job because they have things to pay for. They have to pay for fun. Notice I didn't say bills first. Fun, obviously everybody has bills, car bills, rent or mortgage or phone bills, whatever that may be, cost of living essentially. But then they have the fun that they want to do. And then you have to save, right? It takes extra income to be able to save for retirement. And that's going to be the theme of this segment here, is more retirement strategies and wealth management strategies. But you were talking you're explaining, if people have to want to pay for something, they can't wait for years and years and years to pay for that with a strategy that just with buy something and hold it. And you kind of got me thinking on how people are wired in the markets. People are wired to get a fix out of the market. They don't have a real goal in the market, because what does most people do when they want to start trading? They open an account with probably a silly app, which is not the best thing to do, and they fund it, which is putting money in it, and then they hope. They put money in that and they buy a stock and hope it works. So it's getting a fix out of the market. They don't have a real goal or objective. And that's why most people struggle at that. And in these investing classes, I know you talk a lot is about having a plan. Not just a fix out of the market, have a plan. What are you going to use this market for? Are you going to use the market to pay for some bills? Or maybe it's going to be for some fun? Because I'll tell you what, when you have an actual objective, you will work much harder for that. And people have objectives in their retirement accounts, Al. People want to be able to retire at one point. Besides yesterday, they want it to be today. If it's not today, maybe it's in their late 50s or early 60s. I mean, gosh, nobody wants to work past that. But when you talk about a plan for that, and you're talking about longer term investing, we are still using multiple time frame analysis. And that's been a theme of this whole show here today. What are some examples of how to use 3 time frames in their wealth accounts, their 401ks or IRAs, so people can say, yes, you have time to be able to do this?
Yeah, a lot of people, when we talk about trading, in their mind, they picture themselves sitting in front of a computer and having to do things every day or every other day. You know, most of our students don't want to do that, especially when you reach that point where you have actually achieved some wealth. You want to make sure you protect it and grow it, but you have other things you want to do. That word that Josh mentioned, the F word, fun.
Fun, yes.
Fun.
Well, it's a family show. You had me worried for a second.
And you mentioned that first. Unfortunately, for most people, they may not even have the amount of money they need to have fun after everything has been paid. We would like to see that turned around. So you can look at, let's have some fun first, because we know we'll have enough left to pay for our bills, but to pay for what it costs to be alive. So you can use longer term time frame charts where maybe you're only going to be doing something maybe once a month or a couple times a year. But
so explain that with those time frames.
Yeah, you need a longer term time frame chart then that gives you the opportunity. If you're making fewer trades or fewer investments, you more than likely want to have a much larger return for those few investments than you would if you're a short term trader. You're kind of accepting the fact you're going to take some shorter term profits, but you're taking more of them. I mean, some lower profits, but you're taking more of them. So if you're looking for long term big moves in the market, then you're going to use something. Maybe it could be a daily, weekly, monthly charts. It could be a multiple hour, 4 hour, daily chart, but 3 different time frame charts that do essentially the same thing we talked about
So
with the shorter term charts.
yeah, so larger time frame. So same strategy. So that's what's great about the strategy that we teach is you use it for your income strategies, but also for your retirement and wealth strategies. The only thing that's different is the time frame that you use.
Exactly. One of the things that we have really strived for and achieved is to simplify the process. In the 3 time frame charts, that's the first 3 steps of our strategy, of the plan, or the core strategy, investment strategy we have. The first 3 steps involve the first 3 time frame charts that are specific to what you're doing. And then there's 6 steps that you follow to enter that position. That's the same thing whether you're a short-term trader or long-term investor, whether you are investing in stocks or options or bonds or whatever it is, the same 6 steps. That's what keeps it simple. And you mentioned that, a lot of people just throw their money in the market and hope that it works out.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing is they're crossing their fingers, hoping they have these huge home runs.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, if that's the way you're doing this, you are gambling, and more than likely you're going to lose over time. The most important thing is identifying a process that gives you consistency. But look at it, if you're playing a game, let's say that I create a game and I'm going to play the game with you. I set the rules. I make the rules, and I can change the rules whenever I want to.
Okay.
Who's going to win?
You.
I'm going to win. Well, the same thing is true in the markets. Somebody is out there setting the rules. It's not you. And if you don't know those rules and how to play by the rules and how to take advantage of them, you're probably going to lose. A lot of people don't know that there are rules. They didn't even know that there's a game being played, but there is. And that's not something that should scare you. It should actually excite you, because once you understand how people are doing this, you can take advantage of what the big players are doing, and they're doing it on a consistent basis. If you look at the returns of the big institutions, they're consistently profitable no matter what the market is doing, and year after year after year.
Yeah,
they're doing the same thing you can do.
Correct. Yeah, and that's the big thing that we teach here at the academy, is because if you want to learn the rules of the game, if you want to get in the arena, you have to learn those rules. Once you learn those rules, then all we need to do is place odds and probabilities in our favor. And that's all the financial markets are, is odds, probabilities, making smart decisions, and then using multiple time frames. And as Al was talking about with retirement accounts, you may use like the same funnel approach, a monthly chart. See where is price at and where has it been in the big picture, which is the top of the funnel. Then which way is the funnel going? Which obviously, when you hold the funnel, gravity brings it down.
Sure.
So let's just say the market's going down, and you hone into the precise price or area. We'll call it a zone, since we're talking about supply and demand zones. The zone that you want to get into, which is the bottom of that funnel. So you're increasing your odds based on these time frames.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing, is being able to do that, and it's understanding what those rules are, what those steps are. And then the great thing about investing, especially in your retirement accounts, is you're not required to have a broker. You're not required to have an advisor. They'll probably tell you that.
That's a good point.
But people that want to be able to do this themselves, it's available to anybody. If you want to be able to manage your IRAs and make your own decisions in there, it's available to the public. If you want to manage your 401ks, there's different things you can do with that. A lot of 401ks are getting pretty good, where you can direct them pretty well. At minimum, dynamically manage it through your broker or your work.
Sure. Yeah, and you're making those decisions. You can make those decisions. And think about this, folks. You're paying the broker money, the sponsor money, to let you make your own decisions.
Oh, that's such a nice thing, isn't it?
Yeah, what a great deal for them.
Oh, man. Al, I'm gonna create a business model. And you're going to pay me to tell you what clothing to wear each day. How's that sound? And you might look a little funny, and you're gonna look how I want you to look.
I will look
and
funny.
that's how that is. They are telling you to do certain things to look how you want to look in the future. Think about that for a second. And if I was dressing Al, telling him what to do with his clothing, I think I might do things that might make me happy rather than him. If you know what if you know what
I'm not playing that game.
if you're picking up what I'm laying down. But that's sad to say that's not a joke. That's actually the truth of it. So that's why we have these investing classes here locally to go through wealth management strategies, what's available to the public, what we can do, what can we do with our retirement accounts, our IRAs, our 401ks. How do we make our own smart decisions? Because Al, who is going to have the best interest in your money? It's you. So simply text the word investing to the number 210-210 for seats for our investing class to go through wealth management strategies and being able to do that on top of your job even. Text investing to the number 210-210 or simply call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. Al, I know you got a lot more to discuss on the next segment. We'll get into some more wealth strategies, some more income strategies, and then I know you have a little secret for everybody, so stay tuned for that secret. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We will be